What's up, guys? E-Drone here. This is the new DJI Mavic Air 2. Stay tuned. Guys, the Mavic Air 2 is here and I couldn't be more excited. This drone has a lot to offer for a very affordable price. I'm very excited about it, and I know you are too. Okay, go ahead and first power up your DJI Mavic Air 2, and you'll notice I've taken the props off for safety because we're going to be powering this up indoors, connecting it to the controller, which will also connect to our device. So we can go ahead and access the Dji Fly application. Go ahead and put your device in your controller, plug it in, and you'll want to go ahead. It should just automatically recognize it and pull right up for you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these app settings so we can kind of familiarize ourselves with the new DJI Fly app. Now, if you look up here in the top right corner, there's some information here. We have our satellite strength, we have our control link quality, and we have our video link quality. We have our battery life. We also have our battery temperature and our flight time. Now, notice how I clicked on that up there, and as I clicked on it, this window actually stays popped up. That will actually stay up there until you touch the screen again. It's nice to have that on the screen, and you see it says takeoff permitted. Now, if we click on that, we're actually going to get a pre-flight check, and you can see there we are normal. We have our return to home altitude, which we can adjust up or down depending on our liking. We also have our maximum altitude, which I have set to 400 feet. We have max distance as well. You can actually change the distance if you want to put a geofence up so you can't fly as far away. You can do that. I'd have mine set to no limit. Okay, if we scroll down here, you can see we have storage location. We can format the SD card if it was in there. We have the internal storage, and it tells you how much storage is actually available in there. And it also tells you how much time you have to record. Now notice this says we have 7.8 gigs available, and we have 11 minutes and 15 seconds available to record. So that's really important to know if you want to know how much record time you have on your micro SD card or your internal storage. We click the format button. This will format the internal storage. And as you can see, it formatted it successfully. You can do the same thing with your micro SD card in this menu here. Go back to the main screen. You can see we have a button over here. If we push this and hold, the aircraft will take off. Obviously, we're indoors and I have the propellers off, so we're not going to do that. But you can. And here we have our map. So by clicking it once, it will open it up a little bit more. We do have some information here. If you click on it again, it will open it up even more. And we can go over here and zoom in on the map. And that will tell you exactly where the drone is located, as well as give you all the warning, no-fly zones, warning zones, airports nearby. Everything is going to be listed on this map. We also have the Find My Drone. So we can use another map if we'd like, or we can start flashing and beeping. So that will help you to locate the drone if you've lost it, as well as the map. If you scroll down, you'll see exactly, it indicates exactly where the drone is. You can also drop a pin if you would like. So after you take off and go for your flight, if you push the home, that will tell you what the home point that was recorded, where that actually is. And you can also change to satellite mode, or you can change to mixed mode, which will do a combination of the satellite and the standard. I like doing satellite mode. Just seems to be a little bit easier to recognize. So certain landmarks when you're looking for your drone. Now to go back out of the map, you're going to go ahead and push the back arrow and go back in here to the settings. Go to satellite mode. Okay, you can push this button here and it will automatically put north orientation, north up. And this here actually shows you your restricted zones. It tells you what the different colors represent on the map. Authorization zone, warning zones. So that's good to know that information. If you just click on the eye there. And that's pretty much it for the maps. Let's go back into the app here. And we're going to go ahead and minimize that. Over here down on the bottom we have our height in feet. And we also have the distance away from us. Here in the center, you'll see that there is a little obstacle avoidance. There's a little icon. The gray dot is actually us, and that will keep us with orientation with where the drone is. Very handy tool. Okay, let's go here and click on the HDR. This is going to allow you to go into your video and photo settings. You can go in here and change the frame rate from in 4K. In the HDR mode, you are limited on the FPS with the HDR. It will not do 4K 60 in the high dynamic range mode. If you go down here to 2.7K, you can see we have the same frame rates. We go to 1080p, you can see we also have the same frame rates. Now if we go to normal, you can see now we have opened up 60, 50, and we have a lot more options for our frame rate. Same thing with 2.7K, we have all the same frame rates that we did with 4K, and 1080 you can see we also have those same frame rates. Now if we go to slow motion, we only have the option of 1080p at 120 or 240 as of right now at the making of this video. If you want to go into quick shot mode, quick shot, it won't enter the quick shot when we're not flying. And here you can set a timer. You can do a circle, course lock, waypoints. But these are all not able to use waypoint hyperlapse, so we can actually set our own waypoint hyperlapse here. We have course lock and circle, and we're going to be going over all these features outside. I just wanted to go over a quick little menu just to show you what you can find in the menu itself. And if we go into the photo, we also have the option of a single photo. We have the 48 megapixel photo option. We have the smart photo option. We have the AEB photo option, 3 and 5, and we also have bursts. We can take burst photos, 3, 5, or 7. And then we also have a time shot. We can do 10 seconds. Let's do the 2 seconds. Do 3 seconds. So it's going to take some shots in 3-second intervals. So if you want to do this, you can make your own hyperlapses by doing that manually. Here's the hyperlapse option. So once again, we have circle, free, course lock, and waypoints, so we can do our hyperlapses. We have pano mode, which is really neat. You can do 360 photos and much, much more. And we're going to go over all these features in another video. Okay. You can change the interval length, the length. All these options can be changed for your photos. As you can see there, you can actually change the speed as well. I'm going to leave all this stock for now. And that's going to show you how many frames that you'll have if you have these settings and the duration of the video that you're going to take. So if we push the red button, it will go ahead and start taking those photos, and that's how you do the hyperlapse. And I'll do a tutorial on how to actually do a hyperlapse. This is just going to go through navigating the actual Fly app. So let's go into the video settings, and let's go ahead and go to normal, and let's go ahead and go to 4K, and let's just choose 60. If we click down here where EV, we can change our EV. Now notice what happens as we go down in the EV. You see that the light is getting darker, so it's not allowing as much light to come into the sensor, versus if we go the other way, it gets super blown out and bright. So you can adjust this manually if you like. Go here to the AE, you can actually lock that into place. And here we have our shutter speed. So we can still adjust our shutter speed, which is helpful when you're doing the ND filters. So you still have the option to adjust the shutter as well as the ISO. As you can see, as we adjust this, it's going to either get super bright or super low. So yeah, you can do auto. You can lock the AE. You manually change your EV comp, or you select the camera to go to manual and you adjust your ISO as you see fit. So 1600 looks about as good as we're going to get it for the ISO. Now if you want to use the ND filters, obviously you would double what your frame rate is. So if we were doing 60 frames per second, we would do the 1/120 for the shutter speed to get that nice motion blur. And we would bring our ISO as low as we could, and then you would put your ND filter on, and then you would get that nice motion blur. So I love that we have all the settings. Now if we click on this little play button here, go back to auto. If we click on this little play button here, this takes you over to your album where you have your pictures and stuff. Click on the three dots up here. Now we're into our safety menu. You see we have our pre-flight information again that we had in the other area. It has your maximum altitude, your distance, your return home. You update your home point. Here's your obstacle detection and your APAS. Make sure you always check all your settings every time that you do your pre-flight. Don't rely on the app to remember your settings, because it won't. And yeah, I had experience with that myself. So make sure you check it after each and every flight. Make sure you check before each and every flight all of your settings. Here's how you do your compass and IMU calibrations. I'll pop a video up here showing you how to calibrate the IMU. The compass, you want to take it outside. You want to metal around your pockets and any debit cards. And you're going to perform it just like it shows you on the screen by spinning the craft and the orientation. Here's the auxiliary LEDs. We can change those from auto to on or off. Unlock GeoZone if you would like to unlock an area. And we have the remote identification. So remote identification allows observers on the ground to track where the aircraft. You can turn that on and off as of right now in the making of this video. Here's to find my drone settings that we already looked at. So all the settings that we looked at before are in here as well. Here's some advanced safety settings. You want to make sure that when your signal's lost, you have it set to return to home, not descend or hover, unless that's what you want it to do. I always have mine set to return to home. And then we have the emergency propeller stop, emergency only. You can stop the propellers. And it says move both control sticks towards the bottom enter to stop the aircraft during flight. Emergency stop is enabled for emergencies only. Air sense, okay, we can go ahead and turn that on. Thank you for using the Air sense technology. The DJI will send you a notification. We're going to go ahead and enable that. So you can turn the air sense on or off. And go to control here. I like all mine to be in feet, so I choose Imperial. Gimbal mode, we have follow mode, which is what we traditionally use, and then there's FPV mode. So the gimbal will remain fixed horizontally when the aircraft is moving. If we go to FPV mode, the gimbal will follow the movement of the aircraft, so you will see more turns, It will look more like a FPV drone versus a camera drone. Unique little flying style you can add a little bit of spice to your videos. This will allow the upward gimbal rotation. To calibrate the gimbal, this is what you would do. You can do it automatically or manually. I don't suggest doing it manually unless you know what you're doing. Just do it automatically unless you know what you're doing. We can recenter the gimbal. The gimbal has been recentered. You can change your stick mode if you would like the sticks to perform different functions than they are out of the box. It's set to mode 2. Basically, up and down is on the left. Your forward, backward, side to side is on the right. And then you can change the button customization to make the button do different functions. Right now it's set to the auxiliary LED for a 1 tap. That turns on the auxiliary LED. If I push and if I double tap, that will recenter the gimbal. So that's nice because it actually will go to give you that quick gimbal down to give you that nice vertical shot. And then you push it again to get your nice level shot, and it happens almost immediately. So that's nice if you need to get a quick shot looking down. Here's your RC calibration if you would like to calibrate the remote controller. And then we also have a flight tutorial that will tell you how to take off. It will tell you all of the warnings and pre-flight trips that you need to do. So let's go ahead and push on that.
Perform a safety check before you fly.
You're going to check the propellers, make sure they're all good condition, make sure they're installed correctly, make sure they're open. You're going to check the gimbal and the aircraft orientation, make sure that the place with the rear side facing you and the gimbal protector is removed. And then you're going to do your remote controller check. Unfold the remote and adjust the antennas, and it will actually give us a tutorial. Okay. Check the status of the device, aircraft battery, it's our hardware status, flight info. This is going to take you through all of the information that tells you everything about how to do camera view, safety check, and this will tell you why we can't take off because we don't have any GPS. So let's tap that. Tap anywhere outside the window to close it. Okay. Unable to take off, move to an open area. Okay, so that's good. We're inside. We don't want to be able to take off. And then the rest is going to have to be done while the drone is in the air. But that was just a quick little run through of some of the settings and some of the things you can see. Now if we go here to the camera, we can change the format, MP4 or a .mov file. You can change the color to normal versus de-cine-alike. We also have the anti-flicker is set to auto. There's the coding format. Video subtitles. Histogram. If you would like to know if you're overexposed, underexposed, you can select that. Here's overexposure warning. This is nice because you can see here that the bright LEDs obviously are overexposed. So if we wanted to change that, we can actually lower this. And as you can see, the darker we get, the lower that those exposures going away. And that's how you can tell if you're overexposed. If you go all the way, you can see, oh wow, we're way overexposed. We need to go ahead and darken that up. And that's how you can kind of use that as a tool to help you out. Auto sync the HD photos. I've got that selected because they will sync those to your device in case something happens to them recording on the craft. You can add grid lines if you would like. Some people like grid lines when they're shooting. White balance, we can set that to manual. So as you can see, we can actually change our white balance, which will affect the color a little bit. I'm just going to set that to auto for right now. And then obviously we have our storage formatting. And then we have our max video cache capacity. When the max capacity is reached, old cached files are deleted automatically. And you can raise or lower that or set it to auto. Transmission. This is going to show you your HD or smooth for your transmission to your device. This is going to say your frequency to dual band, or you can run on just 2.4 or 5.8. I have mine set to dual band. If you're going to switch to one of these, know what kind of bands and frequencies you have in your area. If you want to switch to 2.4, make sure you don't have a lot of 2.4 gigahertz interference where you're flying. If you want to switch to 5.8, same thing. Make sure you don't have a lot of 5.8 gigahertz. And you'll see here we have a stable versus unstable. But if you set it to dual band, it's going to use both to get you the optimum frequency for your control link. And then we have our channel mode set to auto. You can do it manually by pushing the manual button, and then you can just scroll this over and salute and check the best stable channel you would like. So as you can go right here, and you can just lock in whatever channel you like the best. I put mine to auto because auto is always going to be looking for the best signal, so it will constantly keep moving to give you the best channel. I think that's pretty much going to be the best setting for most. And that's pretty much it for the transmission tab. Go to the About. This will tell you the name of the aircraft, the model, the firmware. We can check for updates. Let's go ahead and check that now. Okay, we're up to date. The RC firmware is up to date as well. We can check for the Fly Safe database. That's up to date, as well as our database for the apps. This is our app version. Battery times charged, 1. We have our serial numbers for the battery, flight controller, the remote controller, and the camera. So there's all our serial numbers down there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out my DJI Mavic Air 2 playlist. There's going to be lots more videos to come on the DJI Mavic Air 2, so stay tuned. And thanks for watching. eDrone, out.